Continuing here. So to finish that thought, Willie Mays was speaking. This was, I can't even remember the year it was, but it was so cold I couldn't believe it. Freezing cold. I mean, it felt like about 50 degrees the whole time. Thick fog, just a very cold day, and it was middle of summer, so cooking in the valleys, but freezing cold, miserable cold. Couldn't get your hands warm, you know. But yeah, Willie Mays was speaking, and he said that book smarts is one thing, but worldly smart is another thing. To really be worldly wise, kind of like what Jesus said. He said, "Be as shrewd as serpents, as innocent as doves." Okay, so we're not to have anything to do with the fruitless deeds of darkness, another passage from Scripture, but rather expose these people. That's fighting the good fight. Okay, this is unnecessary human suffering they're imposing upon us. And if we tolerate it silently, then we become culpable by default position. You understand? Silence equals death. God's watching, and you have an opportunity to store treasures in heaven. And what are the treasures? They're human beings, winning friends for God, trying to, hey, listen, you read the last book of Daniel, chapter 12 in Daniel, the book of Daniel, chapter 12, so short chapter, and you'll see the motivation. It's so poetic when Daniel says, hey, those that turn many to righteousness will shine like the stars forever and ever. There's great reward, great motivation, great gifts await friends of God, loyal servants. My cough is a little better this week. Sorry about last week. I was coughing pretty hard, but I broke down and took some cod liver oil. When I start coughing too much, I realize it's time to. You buy a little bottle of these things, the capsules, and you take 5 or 10 maybe a month, something like that, because it stores up in your body, but it can really help with if you smoke anything. So I recommend it. It's an anti-inflammatory too, lubricates your lungs, sort of thing. I think it might have saved my life when I was a child and had pneumonia. But we have to understand that we are under a really miserable, burdensome system here, okay? And it's unfair. And we can't just think about our own getting ours, okay? And divorcing ourselves, believing that we can divorce ourselves from others, because we will be held accountable for what we did and what we did not do for the least of men. Whoever you believe that to be. You see, we're going to answer to God. Who did you think was the least? Was that the homeless people? I mean, that's about as destitute, desperately poor as you can get. Not criminals either. These aren't criminals. They'd be safely ensconced behind bars with 3 hots and a cot at a cost of $100,000 a year, approximately, to the taxpayers if they were criminals. But we're going to say, you know what? You get squat, nothing. They don't even feel useful. I mean, that's one thing about a slave. At least you take well, what do you want me for? Well, I want to steal your labor. Well, you're going to have to take care of me. Yeah, if you didn't house, I mean, how many guys out there, if you gave them room and board, okay, because if you didn't keep your slaves healthy, they couldn't perform. They couldn't be productive and make you money. You couldn't, you understand, you wouldn't be effective at stealing their productivity. Okay, the greatest asset any nation has. But what we have today is modern day slavery. It's just been normalized. Gradually, over time, the Labor Department, the Federal Labor Department's been involved. They had to be, because where have they been? When the media is, oh yes, your housing prices are going up this much, oh yeah, wow, they jumped up 25%. Oh wow, they jumped up 50% in Vegas. Oh, whoa. This is all good, but the Labor Department, they're muzzled. Either that, or I mean, and that's it. You shouldn't have these jobs. A kakistocracy, look it up with a K. Okay, that's what it is. The least qualified people. I mean, you can't be a coward and have these jobs. I mean, how about all the union bosses that had to be kind of badass? And if you're going to say, it's just a way to have checks and balances, my friends, and preserve the worth of our money. Do you understand what I'm talking about here? What they've done is really tricky and diabolical. They're very, very smart, like evil genius is what they are. They've been very effective at training us to think the way they want us to think, which is nonsensical, sick logic, illogical, anti-intellectual. That's the truth of the matter. I mean, you got to realize that it's easy to be evil and not even know it just by buying silently into this world system, complying and conforming, and just saying, you know what? I'm successful. Don't tell me. It's kind of like that song by Pink Floyd, Money, you know. Don't give me this do goody good BS. Okay, all I'm saying, what's unreasonable about the Labor Department every year? If the cost of living is going up, if people are manipulating markets, they know it. That's why they're going up. Okay, markets, because of the meddling and because of what's allowed out there. They collude. People collude. If their interests are the same, if, for instance, why would people manipulate housing prices? Okay, why? If you're a landlord, you don't want people to be able to afford houses. That's your business. So your security depends on that tenant being stuck in that house. And if they've got a way out, if there's affordable housing, that's business. That's taking food off your table, right? So we all understand the incentive, the motivation people have. That's just one. And now, if you're a speculator, you don't want to get burned. You out there, you bought a house, you invest, and you bought a house. I'm going to flip it, right? So you want those markets to keep going up. You're riding the wave. You're playing this game. Currency debasement is a good thing because you call it value to somebody else. Hey, it's your value. So it's easy to sell people on this. All the real estate agents, okay, they all have, you understand the motivation. I'm just trying to point out the incentive they have. They work on commissions, a percentage. So you understand, the more they drive the prices up, as long as everything's going on their side of the ledger, they don't care that the gold is being debased. If you stick whatever you want in there, as long as I get, more than my share, so I can, it's working out for me. Sorry, but I'm amassing a fortune. I'm going to win this thing. Like playing the game of Monopoly, right? Eventually, who wins? I mean, if you keep go broke, you're out, and that's what happens. People are out. Where are they out? They're out on the street. And that's the only answer these people have. Well, you're weak. Go get welfare. Then you go out and find out, well, you can't qualify for Section 8 housing. I don't know why. I mean, why else are there all these homeless people? I mean, there'd be outreach from the housing authority, wouldn't there? The people running the Section 8 money, HUD, wouldn't there be outreach and say, you're homeless? Oh, my God, no, let's take care of you. We have a social contract here, social responsibility. We're shipping in young, strong immigrants all the time. And by the way, I don't care. I say open the borders. Okay, once we take care of our own, do it in an orderly fashion. So make sure everybody understands where I'm coming from in the immigration issue. I don't resent the immigrants wanting to come to America, have a better life and all that. But we got to at least do it on an orderly, first come, first served basis, one that makes sense. Okay, take care of our own native-born sons and daughters before we let other destitute people in. Or people that have an in. Hey, I know somebody, and I know these halfway houses. We all know how the scam works. And then the government's even involved. The government, we got to define that word, okay, because there's all kinds of quasi-proxy agencies and all this crap going on. We know lobbying groups have persuasive power and all that in numbers. And hey, you know what? The farmers need us. And yeah, don't look for the homeless people to do those jobs. It's a foot in the door, you understand? And then they do all the jobs, okay? So they're displacing people. I want any immigrants to be sensitive to the natives, the same way you would want, let's say, things were reversed. You see, this is living by the golden rule. Everybody's got to live by the golden rule. If you don't, you won't be found worthy and deserving of inheriting a better world. You understand? This is a big deal. It's a big deal to live by the golden rule in your thinking. You got to say, am I being honest, first of all, about this? But we've all got to care about each other and what's going on in this country because we're going down the tubes. And I'm some freaking, some wild-eyed Looney Tune, that radical communist or something for saying we should buy poor people houses because at the end of the day, it's going to be one whole hell of a lot cheaper in the long run. It's just a mathematical certainty. No equivocation, no ifs, ands, or buts. It's irrefutable fact. You see, but, it's like, I get it from all sides. I mean, because they're disingenuous people running the show. That's who they are. And they don't give a crap about you and me or anybody else. They go against the will of 90% of the American people. That bailout of '08 with the people that don't let them water down our currency. Because we knew that. I mean, you see, people don't put that together intellectually, but on an intuitive basis, they know it was theft. That's what it all comes down to. That's what slavery is. What do we have today? We got all these minimum wage workers, or close thereabouts, and they're all just on this hamster wheel. The hamster wheel just gets harder and harder to turn, and we're told that, hey, this is just the way it is. It's capitalism, and if you don't like it, you should leave America. You're weak because you don't be a weak link in the chain of humanity, or you'll be under the bridge dying. Okay, because we're shipping in young, strong immigrants that can displace you and take your place, and they're strong links. So, they could cut the mustard. They could keep cracking that nut cakes harder and harder. They could keep reaching that bar. They're young and strong. So, you know what? If you're old and dying and weak and you just, you don't like capitalism, I don't know what to say to you on American trash. Just go die under the bridge. Nobody's saying that, but essentially, that's the inference. That's what you can deduce. And I'm just a problem solver, no smarter than anybody else, but I've just been paying attention. And I don't like what I've been witnessing my whole life. I'm tired of it, and God's got to put his foot down, okay, just so that his name remains vindicated to the righteous, to his friends, okay, to his servants, because of their own free will and accord, because they love him so much. That's the only way he wants our love, is if it's willing. He's not, you better love me, no, it's not like that. The commandments of God are easy. Jesus, my yoke is easy, my load is light. Love God above all else, and love one another like yourselves. Live by the golden rule in all your affairs, and especially your business affairs. And if we were all doing that honestly, you think we'd have the problems we have if we treat each other like equally beloved children of God? In essence, we're like little gods created in the image and likeness of God. And God's going to hold us accountable for, did you treat other human beings like that, or did you not? Did you lift people and help them, realize their true self-esteem is given from above, how precious they are to God? That's wealth, that's God's money. You are the souls of men, friends. Okay, that's what he's after, you and me. We're what's precious treasure, and he wants you to take advantage of this time and go out and store treasures in heaven that neither rust nor moth destroys, and thieves don't break in and steal. You'll have riches forever. You'll have friendship forever. You've taken people out of the darkness into the light, out of Babylon and into the cool, clear, clean lake that the Lord wants you to swim in. Okay, where it all makes sense, only from his point of view. He points out the madness in this world. Why did Jesus say you must hate your life in this world to have everlasting life? Because the prince of this world is Satan. That's it. In a nutshell, it's the spirit thereof. Okay, and it has everything to do with money. Money is the ambrosia. This is the power of the purse. Okay, it's extremely powerful. And we're all subject to be under that spell. So a great schism is created, inevitably. You can't help it. Okay, because we must hate money, and we must be really anxious and looking forward to a world without any form of money at all, and nobody there that wants to have any form of money. Nobody wants an advantage over others, because that's what we all know money does. It gives you a huge advantage over other people, just like having money in a Monopoly game. Who can deny it? So you've got, on one hand, we all love it for what it does for us temporarily. But in the long run, it doesn't. So we've got to think, what does God want me? How does he want me to look at money? How should I spend it? How should I think of it? How should I earn it? How shouldn't I do these things? What's going to please him? Because I hate my life in this world. This is a drag. This is a pain in the behind. Nothing makes sense anymore. It's just, the evildoers have just run roughshod over humanity, and we're a bleeding mess. With those frogs that they put in the pot of water, they're cooked. They're getting overcooked. We're done. The rubber is meeting the road, okay? And what we're seeing now, the convulsions in the economic, there's going to be some huge changes. You think housing prices are going to drop? Look, they'd be with less homelessness if they took away that $50 billion a year. Just take it away. Just take it away. It's going in the pockets of fat cats. It's making the problem worse. The disparity between haves and have-nots. Okay, let everyone experience it. People say, oh, that's mean, kicking people out of their Section 8 houses. Well, how is it nice to other people when you're making it worse? You're making the problem of unaffordable housing worse. Homelessness is getting worse. Poverty's growing. Okay, and the rich getting richer. That's not a joke. Okay, the multi-billionaire class, hundreds of millionaire class. Okay, that's where that money is going, man. And they're not better. They're not more blessed. They're not more intelligent than you and I. They're just more aggressive. They're more assertive. They're not more deserving or worthy. No, they value money more than